Guys, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. It is the Traitors Australia Season 1 finale. And my god, this episode was fan-freaking-tastic. It was incredible. It was tense. It was nerve-wracking. It was exciting. It just had everything you wanted in a finale. However, to the person who about 5 or 6 weeks ago, whenever I was doing like episode 5 or 6, commented under the video and told me who won, big F you. Because if I didn't know that, this finale would have been a 10 out of 10. It was a 9 out of 10 just because I knew who won, so it didn't have quite the same level of mystery and intrigue. So to that person, big F you. Not happy, because if I didn't know, this would have been the most unpredictable finale. And I'm kind of upset that that was taken away from me, but it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. It's fine. It's not like this is the only season of Traitors that I've got left to watch. Yeah, it's fine. But we are going to be moving into the video in just a moment. But before we get started, thank you guys for watching. This has been one of the greatest sort of series on my channel, The Traitors. UK, US, and Australia. You guys have absolutely been smashing goals. We are going to be back hopefully very, very soon with Traitors US. Okay? So please stick with me. We've got Big Brother Canada, we've got Maths Australia, we've got the rest of Josh Must Win, and we've also got The Apprentice to catch up on. All 4 of those shows are incredible, and if you're not watching them, make sure you are. Most of the time, if it's, for example, Big Brother Canada, the link will be in the description for where you can watch it. Everything else is on a streaming site in the UK, either E4, All4, or whatever it's called, or ITVX, or BBC iPlayer, whatever. You'll be able to find it, trust me. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you're subscribing. We're on our way to 1,000. You guys have been absolutely smashing goals, and sucks that this is the end of the Traitors Australia. Apparently they're not making another series, which is gutting, because like, as much as season 2 was an absolute dumpster fire, season 1 might be one of the best series of the Traitors, if not the best. I haven't decided whether it's better or worse than UK season 2, just because I think UK season 2 had me in a chokehold for 4 weeks, whereas like this has been like a fantastic game, but I haven't quite felt the chokehold effect. So I don't know. I think this is probably a better game, but that was a better season. I don't know. It's one of those things. But without much further ado, let's get into the finale, shall we? So first of all, I just want to give a little bit of background on my thoughts on the top 4. Am I gutted Teresa's not here? Absolutely. Teresa deserved to be a finalist. I'm gutted that she was axed at the last minute. Liam, for me, is a shock finalist. I did not expect Liam to make it to the top 4. Yeah, I think he made himself look suspicious in the game, and that's why he's stuck around. But he's also defended himself well enough to avoid banishment multiple times. He also got that shield, which kind of protected him that day and allowed them to get rid of Nigel. Kate, fantastic player. I think she was a fantastic faithful for the most part. She was kind of a bit rubbish at the start. She kind of, like, I always find it really difficult to judge them on early game decisions because there's just not enough information. But when it counted, Kate managed to get out Marielle and Nigel back to back on very, very subtle information and clues. I gotta be honest, I don't think many other people would have been able to pick up on that, but she did. So you gotta give her props. She is planning on getting rid of Alex, and I think Alex is planning on getting rid of her. So, like I said, this is really going to be a game of cat and mouse. It's going to be interesting. Either way, I think the Faithfuls have lost, but it's just going to be a fantastic finale. Anyway, Craig is here. I don't think he's here because of luck. I think he's here because he prioritized making relationships with people over making decisions in the game. And it's a valid strategy to get you to the end. You're not just trying to suss out the traitors. You're trying to remain as under the radar as possible in order to get to the final, and that's when you can start voting out the traitors. He was instrumental in getting rid... Well, he wasn't instrumental, but he voted for Angus. I'm fairly certain he voted for Claire. Let me check that, actually, because where is the Claire vote? That's the Cash vote. That's the Olivia vote. That's the Angus vote. Where is the... Oh, no. Where's the Claire vote? The Claire vote is here. He voted... Oh, he voted for Matt, but Matt was annoying, so I'll let him off for that. He also voted for Marielle, and he voted for Nigel. So he's been instrumental in getting 3 out of 4 of the traitors out, and the reason why he's here is because he was close to traitors, but it was because of the level of his relationships. It wasn't just a case of like, oh, blind faith. Yeah, he does have blind faith in Alex sometimes, but also he does question her. It's difficult. I will explain this more in another video, but I just don't think he's been a bad player, personally. That's just my opinion. Alex has played very, very well, but fucking A, she's played dirty. It's, oh God. Alex is potentially one of the best traitors ever. And I say that with a pinch of salt because she wasn't a traitor from the beginning, but she was a faithful, and she was a good faithful as well. Not in the case of like voting people out, but in the sense of she was able to remain under the radar, and until this episode, or until like the last episode, her name has never been brought up at the round table. Not once. That's craziness. Absolute craziness. The mission for this episode was the final mission, and it was built to be this incredible, crazy thing, and it was actually just kind of abseiling down a cliff to get some bars and then going back up again. It wasn't actually that interesting. I think I switched off halfway through. I got to the part where Alex was having a mini breakdown, and then they ended up with $40,000 dollars. So I was like, okay, cool, sure. It was a bit of an underwhelming end to the series of what was otherwise quite good tasks, I gotta say. Like, I don't think there were any this series that I was like, oh, that was a bit shit. Maybe there were, I can't remember. I'm often like with the missions on this show, I'm sort of like, ugh. Whereas like there have been some cool ones, like the whole plane thing, like that would be fun to do. The train one where we were like on the train, that was quite cool. I'm trying to think of like some other cool ones. The going backwards and forwards with the catapult. Like again, they're quite cool challenges. It's just they're not that interesting to watch on TV. It is what it is. I also think the traitors need to rethink their challenges, and I think they need to be shield challenges. In the same way that like Australia has specific shield challenges in order to win the shield, I think that's what the challenges should be. There should just be a prize pot of 120,000 for the UK one. It shouldn't need to be built up. Just give them the 120,000 if they win. It's not the end of the world. But watching them compete for gold is just not as interesting as watching them compete for safety. That would be sick. So, we are heading into the first round table, but first we have some suspicions. We have some, well, I say suspicions. Basically, it's gameplay at this point. Alex is taking advantage of Craig trusting her, and she's trying to lead him down the path of voting for Lewis. Now, the tough thing to think here is, if she takes Craig to the final 3, she's got to choose who the other person is in the final 3. If she takes Kate, there's a chance that Kate will persuade Craig against Alex. And if she takes Lewis, then there's a chance that Lewis... I mean, to be fair, Lewis would be voted out by Craig. Craig does not trust Lewis in the slightest. So, essentially, it's just on Alex as to who she takes through. Yeah, it's an interesting one, I gotta say. I think it would have been tough to watch either way. But Kate was then talking to Lewis about Alex, and Lewis is like kind of believing that it is Alex, and it's so frustrating because they're so right and they're so close. It's just they will not have the numbers for this, and it is kind of shitty, I won't lie. It's a shame because like they're bringing up very, very valid points. Like Alex apparently said in one of the round tables that she felt guilty for the people on death row rather than feeling sorry for them. And why would she feel guilty if she wasn't the person who like put them up there, which I find actually a very, very good point. The next thing is the crocodile tears situation. When Teresa got voted out, there were a lot of tears, and like it was convincing as her crying, but like, was it her being overwhelmed by guilt? Was it her pretending? There's a lot of different ways that it could be interpreted. And honestly, I don't blame people for questioning her and wondering whether she actually is genuine. Like I said, she has not been called upon this entire game, apart from Kate for like a brief moment in the last round table. So it's time to actually hold her under a magnifying like glass and see whether she cracks. It's just very interesting. And then Lewis made the mistake of going to tell Craig that he's voting for Alex, because obviously Craig is very much on Alex's side. He trusts her. It's tough because then he went and told Alex that Lewis is gunning for him, and they were having, and like Kate was there as well, and they were like, we've got to vote for Lewis, we've got to vote for Lewis. But little did they know, Lewis was standing outside the room listening to the whole thing, and I just thought this is a crazy moment, because he's sitting there going, fuck, I think I'm going home, so I've got to pull a Hail Mary and try and do something. Try and do something, because otherwise I'm going home and I'm losing that 250,000. That's crazy. Oh, tough. This is what makes the game so tense, is like you come to the top four and you genuinely don't know which way it's going to go. I genuinely didn't know where this was headed, because I don't even know how to put into words how crazy this is. Yeah, it's wild is what it is. It's absolutely wild. So we are at the round table now, and oh god, Lewis immediately brought up what he'd heard. He was like, guys, I heard you conspiring against me. Like, please, it's not me. I swear on my mum's life that it's not me. I've been a faithful since the start. Yes, I've made questionable decisions, but that does not confirm my guilt. It does not. I am innocent. I am a faithful. I gotta say, his arguments were very convincing. They were a lot more convincing than I thought some other people's arguments. And I don't know whether that's just because I know I can trust him, because obviously he is a faithful, but I just feel like it's I don't know. It just there's something about him that just makes me go, yeah, I want to trust you, and like I do trust you. I don't know. I think it's the sincerity in his voice. He says it with such passion, and he says it with passion, but he doesn't say it frantically like some people. Like when Angus was trying to defend himself and it just came off as a little bit frantic, like he was really trying to defend himself. It kind of it came off the complete opposite of that, as if he was cool, calm, composed, and still had that passion behind his voice. Craig was then saying that he's sus with Lewis, and I was just like, oh, it's over, isn't it? Because all the traitors have to do is vote with Craig, and then they've won essentially. Either way, they've won. And Lewis was like, don't let relationships blind you in this game. I think he was aiming that at Craig, because Craig has let relationships blind him in this game. He's built up very, very good bonds with people, which has brought him to the final, but he's not able to let go of those bonds and really question, are you a traitor? He did it with Nigel, but I don't think he's willing to do that with Alex, because I think he genuinely doesn't believe that she has it in her to lie to him for this long. And damn, Craig's going to be really unfortunate. It's going to be really unfortunate. Alex was then like, Lewis, why did you swerve to Teresa in the last one? And he was like, well, it came down to me or Teresa. So to protect my own back, I had to go for Teresa. It's just a simple game of numbers. When you come down to like this level of the competition, It's either vote or be voted for. That kind of thing. Like, vote with the group or be voted for. And I just don't have enough suspicions. I do now, because I think it's you, basically. He didn't actually say that. I wish he did. But Kate then was like, what about your crocodile tears? That reads as guilt. And she was like, she basically used the same excuse as Claire of like, just because I'm crying, like, doesn't mean it's guilt. It's hard on everyone and it just affects me in a different way. And I was like, I'm shocked that no one pointed that out, but it's the exact same defense that Claire used when she was being asked about sort of her demeanor and things like that. And I found that very interesting, because Alex should have been caught out for that, because yeah, I do appreciate, and I appreciate fully, that things are like affect people differently, but you're being called out because you might have been faking tears, and you're like, oh well, it just affects people. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm really on Kate's side and I really want Kate to win, that I was like, I just want Alex to fall at the last hurdle. It's the same reason of like why, like, in the second season of Australia, I wanted Sam to fail because he had orchestrated everything, and like that's how I felt about Alex. Like, Alex is 10 times more likable and like an incredible player, as opposed to Sam just getting lucky, in my opinion. But I think Alex has very much manipulated the game to how she wants it to be played, and sometimes I just want the underdog to win. That's why Josh Must Win is so much fun to watch. But anyway, we're going to move on to voting time, because yeah, we're about to lose someone else, and it was kind of sad, I won't lie. Lewis voted for Craig. Craig voted for Lewis. Alex voted for Lewis. Kate also voted for Lewis. So Lewis was a goner. He knew it. But he stood up there and he went, guys, I swore on my mother's life and you didn't believe me? I'm faithful. And everyone was like, rah, rah, rah. And honestly, I feel like they should have taken him more seriously. Nobody else is swearing on their mum's life. But when it came down to, he was like, swear on my mum's life. He's not. Most people don't do that just for granted. They do it when they're being deadly serious. That should have been something that, like, I know, and I really hate when people do that, because I think it kind of ruins the fun of the game. But when it comes down to the final four, I swear on my mum's life, fair, chill, because like it's the final four. If it was like a group of 18 people, then I'd be like, get a grip, come on, just defend yourself a bit better. But when it comes to like the final four, I don't know, I can let it slide. So we come into the final gameplay discussion meeting, and first of all, we have a conversation between Kate and Alex. Kate and Alex are up first, and Kate and Alex are like, yo, we have to just get Craig out of here, and then we split the money. And I was thinking, yeah, fat chance of that. Fat chance of that. You are both double bluffing each other. Because you're both going to go to Craig and you're going to be like, yeah, I think it's this person. And you're going to get him, you're going to have to make him decide who it is. And you're both just going to vote for the other person because you want to be the sole traitor remaining. Because as Kate pointed out, and she said it rather brutally, and I thought it was kind of crazy. She went, Craig loses no matter what now. There's no way he can win. Craig has lost the game. So really, it's about us winning now. And I was like, rah, she's so right. She's so right. No matter what Craig does, whether he gets banished or whether he survives the banishment, he has lost the game. There are 2 traitors left in the game. And he's just lost. Wow. Damn, that was tough to take in. And then Kate went to Craig, and Craig and Kate sold it to me that they were going to vote for Alex. Sold me a dream. They genuinely, out of the 2 conversations, Alex and Craig and Kate felt far more convincing to me, and it felt so much more. We've got to do it. You've got to trust me. You've got to trust me. You have to. And from Craig's end, and then Kate was like, I don't know who to trust. She played very, very well the shit card, the shit scared card. And I think that's an absolute credit to her. She did so well with that. Much better than I thought she would. But now it does come down to who does Craig trust more? Does he trust Alex more? Does he trust Kate more? And then when he was having his conversation with Alex, she just turned on the waterworks, and I got the sense that Craig didn't trust her as much as he trusted Kate in that moment. And I don't know, Craig kind of did the same thing. He was kind of playing them both off against each other, which was odd. Because I think he was under the impression that either one of them or both of them were the traitors. But I think he wanted to believe that there was only one of them. And yeah, it was tough to watch, I gotta be honest. I don't think this was tense, and if I hadn't have known the outcome, I genuinely would have been bricking it going into this final, like, banishment, because you just, from what I watched, you didn't know which way Craig was going to go until he revealed his vote. So they came in, they all voted to vote again, and that's fairly standard because there is at least one traitor left in the game. And Alex and Craig both defended themselves in that moment about why you shouldn't vote for them, but Kate chose that time to throw blame on Alex, which I don't know whether that was a viable strategy or not. I think it might have actually worked against her potentially, but either way, it was a tough one because you really just didn't. I've said this so many times, you didn't know which way it was going to go. Obviously, Alex voted for Kate. Obviously, Kate voted for Alex. So it did come down to Craig and his final vote, and he did, unfortunately, vote for Kate. So Kate finishes in third place. She has been banished, and she revealed herself to be a traitor. And when I tell you, Craig looked unbelievably happy. Like, unbelievably happy. So much so that I have never seen this man smile and chuckle and feel a sense of euphoria wash over him. And I was like, fuck. Because in a minute, we've got to watch that get crushed. So he revealed himself to be faithful. And then when it came to Alex, she just sort of covered her mouth and just shook her head looking at Craig. And he went, no. And it was like, you watched his heart break in that moment. Like, I sat there and I was almost in tears myself. And you just saw him think, well, fuck. That's it. That's the game done. I think he said, like, that's the game. Alex won the show. I obviously knew because someone spoiled it for me. But it was really, really, like, it hasn't ruined my enjoyment of the series. It just marred, what the fuck is going on with my hair? It kind of marred my enjoyment of the finale a little bit just because I knew how it was going to end. Watching how she got to the end was fantastic because this was before she turned on Marielle and Nigel. I think it was even actually before she became a traitor, maybe. So seeing how her journey was fantastic, and I do think she definitely does deserve the title of traitor winner of the Traitors Australia. Whatever. She did really, really well. I'm really happy that she's going to be able to start a family. I mean, I'm guessing she's already started a family, maybe, because, like, this was 2 years ago now. But either way, what a fantastic winner. I'm gutted for everyone else involved because we had some fantastic players this series. Coming up, Traitors content-wise, I've only really got 2 more videos to make on the Traitors before, like, I need new series to watch of the Traitors. Obviously, I'm kind of waiting until they come into the UK. I don't really want to be watching them on streaming sites and then you guys aren't able to watch along with them. So I'll wait until they come to the UK and then I'll cover them. But the videos I've got coming up are an All-Stars wish list for if they do an All-Stars season and the players that I want from each of the seasons that I've watched. There are 5 seasons I've watched, so I'll only be picking from those 5. And then when, like tomorrow, basically, you're going to have a All Stars. No, you're going to have a Season 1 Australia ranking, which is going to be very interesting because a lot of these people I've kind of forgotten about. I'm going to be looking at track records in voting. I'm going to be looking at their gameplay strategies, how early they got eliminated, etc, etc, etc. But on the whole, thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Make sure to keep on ranting. Bye now.